Hello again, everybody. I hope you're looking forward to finding out what I'm going to be doing this time, because I am too. Partly because I've rarely gotten this far in the Vampire Quest before, having only ever attempted it once and not finished it, but also because I'm doing a Radiant quest this time. For those who don't know, a lot of Skyrim's quests have what they call the Radiant location system, where they can assign you to one of several different randomized dungeons, so they're different every time. I'll avoid these two traders for now and just find the person who signed me out to get the chalice. Here we go.
I see you have returned.
So, here comes one of the worst written and stupidest attempts at portraying politics and treachery I've ever come across in a video game.
Lord Harkon and I suspected they might follow you.
Nobody's motives and behavior makes any sense at all.
As well you should have. Welcome to the politics of Lord Harkon's court.
If these politics were an actual subplot that went places, it would be good to have these built up like this, but they're not.
Each sought to gain power by using his...
This doesn't really make any sense, because if they did this, they'd go from being like a harmless traitor to being a nuisance traitor who Harkon would just want to kill off.
Reaches our Lord, you have increased his power over them, and at the same time, deprived them of their little pets. You've done Lord Harkon two great services. Take what you've learned to heart, and be careful who you trust.
Not really followed up on, there's no further treachery, so it's all totally pointless, and nothing anybody does makes any sense. Alright. I can now freely take these potions of blood, which I'm going to presume are not just bottles of blood, because if they were, then they probably wouldn't be so rare. And I'll drink one of those because there's no way Hjalti's going to feed in one of the poor slaves here. That is just completely beneath him. Where's Harkon? Let me turn on the quest, I guess, so I can find him. There we go. Oh, I'll sit down in the chair and talk with him that way.
Ah, you are here. Good.
Time for some dull exposition.
Yes, I did. When I told you that I was grateful for my daughter's safe return, I told the truth. But I did not tell you everything.
I hate both these dialogue options. Again, there's no intelligent choice here. You can't actually play like a cunning character. Because a truly cunning person wouldn't admit how smart they were.
Good.
It's like
strong instincts,
revealing that you have like a hidden knife before you intend to use it.
As well as blade, spell, or claw. As you know, vampires are powerful, but we have limits. Our great enemy is the sun. And until recently, it's an enemy we've had no way to fight. For centuries, I searched for an answer to this problem. I found an old prophecy written by a moth priest. Those scholars who read the Elder Scrolls. The prophecy tells of a time in which vampires will gain power over the sun and will no longer fear its tyranny. I believe the secret to unraveling that prophecy is written in Serana's Elder Scrolls.
So now it finally becomes
I have
important.
ordered the court to assemble. I have a new task for us all to carry out, and that includes you.
Yes, it certainly includes the only person who does anything around here.
And hear my proclamation.
So, time for a dull monologue. Another one. That one at least is fairly brief, but the second one will be a little bit lengthier and tell us the exact same stuff again for no reason. Well, I'm going to somewhat presumptuously take my place over here at Harkon's right side to make a point to these lesser vampires who do nothing and have tried and failed to kill me.
Scions of the night, hear my words.
Again, vampires have nothing to do with the night. They're created by a totally different Daedra, Molag Bal, whereas the Daedra of the night is nocturnal. It's not at all clear why sunlight is harmful to them when it's not harmful to any other undead in this setting. Just... It's not like they're weak to garlic. Like, I don't know why they would lift like a randomly selected half of real-world vampire lore and not the other half into this game, without making any of it make sense. This is also stupid, because they made up for this game this lore that's saying 25 years or so ago, all the Elder Scrolls are suddenly stolen from the Imperial Library. Or disappeared mysteriously and were spread across Tamriel. That should be the reason there's a moth priest here looking for an Elder Scroll. It would make more sense, it would avoid the superfluous nonsense of him having supposedly spread rumors that they didn't actually spread, and would follow up on that lore that they created, presumably for a reason.
Carriage drivers, anyone who would meet a traveler. Go now, and carry out this task. This is my command.
It really just sounds bratty and silly. None of them will do a darn thing.
Any idea how you're going to find a
Yes, we'll talk to the carriage driver, the innkeeper.
big place. Well, back
Her idea
before-
here is the stupidest possible idea. It's to trek across all of Skyrim to go to the College of Winterhold, just thinking that, well, wizards know things. So she go to like one
The
particular group
wizards
of
know about all
wizards.
kinds of things that people probably shouldn't know about. Actually, now that I think of it, I'm going to come along. with you.
No!
really
I
wanting to
mean,
get out and explore.
hooray. I hate her so much, and I really, 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 really cannot stand how I'm just forced to use her to follow her again and again and again and again. Besides the fact that followers completely trivialize the entire game, and that's boring and stupid, they also mean I can't use any kind of tactics because they just charge in mindlessly all the time.
Those are College of Winterhold robes, aren't they?
No follow-up on his treachery
May
whatsoever.
mortals quake at your approach.
Where are those shopkeeping vampires?
Leave me in peace.
Shut up. There's one.
Farron is so good to me, allowing me to be his assistant. I hope I have something that interests
Oh,
you.
there's a bug going on here. He has 0 gold because, this is like a second attempt to record this, and on the first attempt, I bought and sold things with him, and it doesn't actually reset their inventory unless you quit the program entirely. So I can't actually do anything useful with him.
Until next time.
Oh well, it's not like I'm overburdened or anything like that. Now, where's the other guy? Farron Sadri, or some stupid dark elf name like that. No. Is that him going over there? Looks like a dark elf there. Yes.
Life here has
Alright, I'm going to save right now. I need to get a question that he randomly only sometimes has.
Politics bore me terribly. I've discovered the whereabouts
There we go.
of a set
Okay.
of ancient rings of blood magic. They belong among our kind, not gathering mold in some vagabond's treasure pile. They increase the abilities of your vampiric power.
So there's like one for each like aspect, the strength aspect and the magic aspect.
Depends on who you ask. Some say Molag Bal himself gave these rings to ancient powerful vampire lords. Some say that is just a myth. Harkon himself disbelieved in their existence, though perhaps he
We're
feels
talking about him right in
something
front of his
already
face here.
in his possession and only feigns indifference. Best of luck to you.
He didn't actually tell me the location because it's randomized,
Follow
but it's
your
now on my map.
instincts.
Okay, so the one that I want, the only one I care about is the Ring of the Erudite. So let me see where Embershard is. I don't immediately recognize the name. I know a lot of places in Skyrim, but not 100% of them. Alright. Okay, well the Ring of the Beast I don't actually want, so that's fine. Oh, okay. That's semi-convenient, actually. Oh, I know that mine. Yeah. I know that dungeon backward and forward. I just had forgotten the name. Great, that's semi-convenient, as I said. So, I will do that when I'm next in that region, because that is the best item in the entire game for a mage. Not even Morokai can compete. Although, they do different kinds of things, somewhat. I mean, there's limited numbers of things in the game that give you shout bonuses. So Morokai is matchless that way. But, the Ring of the Erudite is an incredible item. Who the heck is that?
I knew I'd heard something.
Oh. Don't remember this. I can't tell if you're like a Nord or whatever in that helmet, so. So we're just gonna murder like a vampire hunter here. And one of these Dawnguard, I'm going to do that with no options to follow up or question why would we be doing that. Wouldn't it be a shame if something just happened to you right here? But there's too many witnesses potentially in the castle. Yeah, I don't know where that gatekeeper guy went. What time is it? Is there another one around here? Oh, neat. I think they have like unique arm. Oh, crossbows. One of the few sources of crossbows in the game is the Dawnguard, so you don't actually have full access to them unless you join them. Crossbows are like a fun, cool idea. I'm not gonna take this up because I know I'm gonna give away that I'm killing vampire hunters. Why would I want to do that? Anyway, a cool idea, but very poorly implemented, so they're totally worthless. Which is a shame. I do wish there were more, viable ranged options. Well, I can't let people know I'm a vampire live, so you've got to die, man. Anyway, people debate a lot whether they're viable or not. The answer is ultimately no for several reasons. First of all, rate of fire is king on like an optimized ranged character build in this game, because all you really care about is maximizing your number of stuns. Crosses do have like a secret stun chance of their own, but it's more than that way by the sheer speed you can get with some of the game's best bows. Also, the biggest problem with them is you cannot get enough ammo. Only a few people in the entire universe sell it, and you can't craft it efficiently yourself. So, not viable for that reason. Don't know why they added them to the game to just make them unplayable, but they did. Well, I've now traveled this lengthy route enough times I'm going to skip most of it, and just go to the nearest town, which is Dragonbridge. And conveniently, that's exactly where we need to go. So there's no need to access any carriage drivers or anything like that, we can just talk to people here. Certainly no need to go across all of Skyrim and go to the College of Winterhold for no reason.
Another quiet day.
Bam! There we go.
We rode through town not long ago with an escort of soldiers. They didn't stop, just headed south across the Dragon Bridge.
Well, la-di-da-di-da, I'm gonna warm myself by the campfire. Turn around, okay, I'm going south across the Dragon Bridge. Wouldn't do to let people know I'm out to capture this Moth Priest. So the Moth Priests are somewhat interesting. Now, before I can tell you about them, I should probably tell you a little bit more about kind of the history of the Elder Scrolls series in general. So, you may be wondering, it's been called the Elder Scrolls, so what is the place of the Elder Scrolls in this universe? Well, basically, they just thought the phrase sounded really cool. So they just thought, why don't we just call our series the Elder Scrolls? But Elder Scrolls had no kind of place in the lore whatsoever until Oblivion. Here's the scenery that's been added for this attack that happened. A murdered soldier. I'll take that. Yeah, let's read this lore book once you're away from the scene of the crime here. Dead vampire. This vampire had 2 vampire deaths. Killed another vampire, perhaps. Or just silliness. Isn't there like another wrecked carriage right across there? I guess this dead horse has friends now. Okay, let's see what that note says. It should be like one of those 2 traitors who got sent out and got killed like this. It's a bit of a arranged plot, but whatever. Get this text off my screen so I can read this thing. I have new orders for you. Prepare an ambush just south of the Dragon Bridge. Take the Moth Priest to the Forebear's hideout for safekeeping, till I can break his will. Malchus. So, a totally new vampire, not anybody at court. I don't know why they did that. We should really be following up on these people at court, making them have actual personalities and matter. But Skyrim is very, very, very bad about that. Anyway, yeah, so originally the Elder Scrolls just were a meaningless phrase they thought sounded awesome. But in Oblivion, they actually started to introduce them into the universe. And Skyrim does more of that. Although they really don't fit in the cosmology at all because they were only made up 4 games in. So essentially, and here I'm far enough away I can maybe read this thing. So I'll read it and I'll talk more about them. So, effects of the Elder Scrolls. It is widely known among scholars that the Elder Scrolls entail a certain hazard in their very reading. The mechanism of the effects has, at present, been largely unknown. Theories of hidden knowledge and divine retribution were the subject of idle speculation with little investigation. I, Justinius Polonius, have undertaken to thoroughly document the ailments inflicted by the Elder Scrolls on their readers, though a unified theory of how they manifest continues to elude me and remains a subject for future study. In other words, the developers just made the idea up and didn't bother following up on it. I have grouped the effects into 4, finding that the avenue of experience depends largely upon the mind of the reader. If this is unclear, I hope that a proper dichotomy will lay it plain. Group the first, the naifs. For one who has received no training in the history or nature of the Elder Scrolls, the scroll itself is effectively inert. No prophecy could be scribed nor knowledge obtained. While the scroll not impart learning to the uninformed, nor will it afflict them in any adverse fashion. Visually, the scroll will appear to be awash in odd lettering and symbols. Well, in Oblivion it just kind of was a typical star chart. Of Earth stars, actually. There's no other astronomy. I often claim to recognize constellations in the patterns and connections, but such conjecture is impossible to further investigate since the very nature of this study necessitates unlearned subjects. Well, unlearned about the Elder Scrolls, but you can certainly go get somebody who knows the stars. Group the second, the unguarded intellects. It is this second group that realizes the greatest danger from attempting to read the scrolls. These are subjects who have an understanding of the nature of the Elder Scrolls and possess sufficient knowledge to actually read what is inscribed there. They have not, however, developed adequate discipline to stave off the mind-shattering effect of having a glimpse of infinity. These unfortunate souls are struck immediately, irrevocably, and completely blind. Such is the price for overreaching one's faculties. It bears mentioning, though, that with the blindness also comes a fragment of that hidden knowledge. Whether the future, the past, or the deep natures of being is dependent on the individual and their place in the greater spheres. But the knowledge does come. Group the third. Mediated Understanding. Alone in Tamriel, it would appear that only the cult of the Ancestor Moth, introduced in Oblivion, has discovered the discipline to properly guard one's mind when reading the scrolls. The novitiates must undergo the most rigorous mental cultivation, and they often spend a decade or more at the monastery before being allowed to read their first Elder Scroll. The monks say this is for the initiate's own protection, as they must have witnessed many unguarded intellects among their more eager ranks. With appropriate fortitude, these readers also receive blindness, though at a far lesser magnitude than the unguarded. Their vision fogs slightly, but they retain shape, color, and enough acuity to continue to read mundane texts. The knowledge they gain from the scroll is also tempered somewhat. It requires stages of meditation and reflection to fully appreciate and express what one saw. I do find the trope of the blind prophet to be really, really overdone and quite a cliché at this point. Again, the Greeks did everything there was to do with prophecies long ago, and nobody else has done anything creative or worthwhile with them since. Group the fourth. Illuminated Understanding. Between the previous group and this one exists a continuum that has, at present, only been traversed by the monks of the Ancestor Moths. With continued readings, the monks become gradually more and more blind, but they receive greater and more detailed knowledge. As they spend their waking hours pondering the revelations, they also receive a further degree of mental fortitude. There is, for every monk, a day of penultimate reading, when the only knowledge the Elder Scroll imparts is that the monk's next reading shall be his last. So see that the Elder Scrolls have some kind of understanding of human faculties and issues and so forth, which is interesting. They're not totally, alien. They're just difficult for humans to grasp. For each monk, the penultimate reading comes at a different and unknowable time. Preliminary work has been done to predict the occurrence by charting the severity of an individual's monk's blindness, but all who reach these later stages report that the increasing blindness seems to taper with increased readings. Some pose the notion that some other, unseen sense is, in fact, continuing to diminish at this upper range. That's an interesting idea. But I shall leave such postulations to philosophers. To prepare for his ultimate reading, a monk typically withdraws to seclusion in order to reflect upon a lifetime of revelations and appoint his mind for reception of his last. Upon this final reading, he is forever blinded, as sure as his unguarded ones who race to knowledge. The illuminated one, though, has retained his understanding over a lifetime, typically possesses a more integral notion of what has been revealed to him. It is hoped that this catalogue will prove useful to those who wish to further mortal understanding of the Elder Scrolls. The Moth priests remain aloof about these matters, taking the gradual debilitation that comes with reading as a point of pride. May this serve as a useful starting point for those hoping to take up such study. Dictated to Anstius Mecham, 4th of last seed in the 126th year of the Second Era. So many thousands of years ago, actually. Well, off we go then, back to the cave. So they made them up basically for Oblivion, and they still not really worked out their place in the lore very well. This kind of serve as generic scrolls of prophecies that have various whatever random other magical effects the plot demands. Clearly more powerful than the Daedra and the gods, and unknowable by pretty much everybody, which is interesting. But it would be more interesting if they actually had a real role in the setting, and they don't. Alright, I'm going to muffle myself. I'm going to equip, because I don't know if I'm fighting undead or humans, Aura Whisper. I'm going to put on my Morokai Mask and my Ring of Destruction. Probably Frost Rose will be useful in here. Frost Boots, rather.
Lost!
Many people in the distance, but nobody close by. Alright. Let's look at a magical barrier over there. I think I may need to enter sneak mode here to hear conversations without Serana giving me away. She will crouch... Oops, did not mean to click that. She will crouch down and sneak, but she's not very good at it. and was so aggro into attacks long before I actually wanted to. Again, you know, cool, semi-unique location. If you're coming here as like a Dawnguard member, you still come here and you fight like death hounds instead of wolves. Or instead of dogs, rather. Right, I guess I just need to fight my way through. The expositor section is further in. Poor little puppies. I'm very much a dog person myself. Not a lycanthrope, though. Not that kind of dog person. Ah, there's her.
I don't know. Maybe. Won't know until we get him out of here.
Maybe should have worked in. So, the vampires put up a hell of a fight.
Now give me some silence so I can think.
The moth priest is in some kind of strange condition. They wonder if the vampires trained him. They aren't sure. Don't know why I didn't do the subtitles. Where's my next target? There's somebody up there. How strong? Oh, pretty sturdy Dawnguard. Alright. But let's get to a better location where I don't need to, like, lob fireballs up a cliff. Ooh! There's one. Sturdy! This should be a boring fight. Let me eat an Elsewhere fondue over here. There we are. And I better turn some of these guys against each other. How strong are they? Good, that worked. Then keep them fighting each other, they'll keep them off of us. Yeah, now there's no witnesses. I could dispose of her in here, if the game would allow me. I would happily do so. I mean, Hjalti probably wouldn't, but I just hate her so much. They got their crossbows, which will do heavy damage if they do manage to hit. But low rate of fire makes them probably less damage overall than bows. The bolt is almost impossible to dodge because it's so fast, even compared to like an arrow. Oh, that gets a weaker one. One thing I dislike about some of the generically named missions, you can't tell their power level. Oh! Oh jeez, I hope it's not Frost Troll power. Let's frenzy it. So that hopefully the other Dawnguard will fight. Is there another one around? Or is that the only one? Oh, you stupid Dawnguard. The troll. Take down the troll. Alright. But with Serana's help, we may be able to bring it down regardless. It'll just be obnoxious. Alright, can we kill this troll? Yeah, it's pretty fragile, actually. I'm not going to bother trying to stun it. I've got Serana to do her stupid tanking for me. What? Oh, okay, you weren't running away, you're just running over there. Fine, that's acceptable. Making progress. Oop. Don't want to hit her and take away her damage. So the Dawnguard have these armored trolls, but actually they're not armored, they have no armor value, and they're not any tougher than regular trolls, so kinda dumb. Oh well. Let's get up these steps and find what they were working on with this moth first and get this over with. There we go. Again, cool location. I enjoy that. I mean, it is partly just an ordinary cave. Gargoyle statues for no real reason. And they come alive, I think, if you're with the Dawnguard, but we're not. I don't know why there's... I guess it's the soldiers who are guarding the moth priest. Don't know how that guy ended up here to get killed.
Time to end this little game.
I don't know how you guys didn't hear the fight down below. I think you fight Malchus if you're with the Dawnguard, but he's just... If you're with the vampires, I think he's dead. It doesn't really matter either way. Oh. Oh, that she must have raised him. Okay, I get it. Probably like a level 1 Imperial soldier, I'd guess. I wonder, are these cliffs around here high enough I could actually lob somebody off them productively? Where's my at? Alright, well, we're getting through it. Ooh, he's almost dead. Their armor is kind of cool. Well, golds. No, I don't think I'll sell the Dawnguard stuff to the vampires back in court. I don't actually want the vampires to have any kind of advantage against the Dawnguard. I just want myself to survive encounters with them. I don't want to give away their weaknesses or anything like that. Ah, it imprisoned the guy in there. Yeah, I'm gonna strip that corpse. I think getting that stone lets me unlock this or something like that. Not 100% sure. Ah, you just go up there. Good, okay. Again, I've only done this once. I've never really got further than this with the vampires. Might not even have gotten this far. I do seem to recall like enthralling that guy, but I don't think I did anything beyond that. So it's gonna be new territory for me here. Oh, jeez. You can hit. The Mothbirds were all minor spellcasters in Oblivion, nothing spectacular. He's throwing resummoned my Daedra to a better location there. Worth them on, I think. If you kill Serana, I will probably just let you go. There you go, self-heals too. Should have suspected, of course. Well, we killed him, but he doesn't actually die. We just need to get up here and use Vampiric Seduction on him. Which is re-granted to you if you don't already have it. And if you miss, you have to wait 24 hours, which is very silly. Feeding does not make anybody else your thrall, ever. Well, I guess I'll, for no reason, serve the vampires.
It's as if my eyes have been opened. I am blinded by the light of your majesty.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
I must obey you. What would you have of me, master?
And he just somehow knows where that... Okay, good, he doesn't.
Where can I find this castle? I will set out at once, then.
And, like, I would probably want to, like, shepherd the guy back there properly, but, you know, we don't do that. Alright, so that was an easy enough quest. Not too inconvenient, so I'll take it. I think I'm still going to be stuck with Serana for a long time. I'll just fast travel back, because again, it's a totally safe area, and it's just kind of a lengthy, pointless trek otherwise. Back out we go. Cool place. Eerie green lighting is a little overdone, but still. One of the better parts of the Dawnguard quest, I would say, because the dungeon is like reasonable size, has some interesting fights, interesting locations, it's advancing the story. All these things are good things. Not like amazing things, but good things. Yeah, so slow rate of fire, high damage per shot, sort of. The real problem is their bolts are garbage. The best bolts compare very poorly to like the best arrows, so that kind of mitigates your supposed damage advantage, even like per shot, let alone DPS. Yep, Dark Elves are horrible, and worship like multiple gods of death and murder. Well, back at Castle Volkihar. Let's advance the quest. I don't need to wait for him, do I? No, I can probably just report this distance, probably teleported them there. Skyrim does handle that for you pretty well. They don't make you wait around tediously for things most of the time. Well, there's the whole court, back to hear about me once again having done everything. I'll take that.
There's plenty for all.
Those are College of Winterhold robes, aren't they?
Well done. Somehow I knew it.
Probably because nobody else left the room.
Yes, I see that. I trust his capture was not too difficult a task.
I think I want to boast about my own prowess and also make it seem that the Dawnguard are really no threat, so they can catch these guys off guard later on, potentially.
I wish I could have been there to hear the sounds of their screams.
Not that I want to boast too much about how great I am. I want to keep some of my powers hidden.
We have given him the Elder Scroll.
I really want to leave these guys vulnerable to the Dawnguard.
And let us hear the words of prophecy together.
Now, elsewhere, we're told that it takes a long, long time for them to prepare to read scrolls, but, you know, whatever.
Don't you agree? Master, I have done as you asked and traveled here. Of course. What is it that you need me to do?
Thrall, by the way, is like a Germanic word for slave.
Ah, yes, the Elder Scroll. I admit, I am looking forward to this. Of course, Master.
You notice they have, like, blades katanas? They had basically those two in,
I must concentrate.
Oblivion.
I see a vision before me. An image of a great
They're a little bit
bow.
lazy about that
I know
appearance
this
there.
weapon. It is Oriel's bow.
Very famous bow. Anybody
Our
in the thing should
voice
probably recognize it. It's been in, like,
whispers,
almost every game, except
saying,
for Oblivion.
Among
think-
the night's
I think it was
children, a dread lord will rise. In an age of strife,
Harkon probably thinks it's him.
when dragons return to the realm of men,
Oh, that's now.
darkness will mingle with light, and the night and the day will be as one. The voice fades.
That could just as easily be bad for us
into
with, like,
shimmering
eternal sunlight or
distort.
something, but whatever.
But wait, there is more here. The secret of the bow's power is written elsewhere. I think there is more to the prophecy, recorded in other scrolls.
I don't know why they really bother with that, because, like, fetching the scrolls is
I see
not
them
that
now.
interesting, but
One
oh well.
contains the ancient secrets of the dragons, and the other speaks of the...
It does intertwine interestingly with the main quest, which is a good thing. I like to have that kind of interesting interaction between different quest
I
lines.
see no more.
Skyrim has a few of those,
Know
but
the complete
hopefully future games will have
prophecy.
more and do them better.
We must have the other two scrolls. What is your command?
Hjalti is very interested in learning more about this.
It is our sacred duty to study the Elder Scrolls. We read these ancient scrolls of prophecy in order to
Because they only really are based in Cyrodiil, and
we
we didn't have
use
any
that
opportunities to
knowledge
talk to them.
aid the Emperor. Sometimes we venture out into the world in search of more scrolls for our library.
But the
at
scrolls are
Great
almost
Gold
all
Tower.
taken or lost somehow,
That is the
25
very
years ago.
purpose that first brought me to Skyrim. It is the great spire at the heart of the Imperial
It's a
City,
moronic question,
among the tallest towers in all of
but I was hoping he'll have more dialogue
The
options
lower
after it, so I had to
floors
put
are
up
home
with
to
it.
the Imperial Council, and the Order of Moth Priests occupies the middle floor.
You go there for an interesting Thieves Guild quest.
The tower suffered damage in the recent war with the Altmeri Dominion, and is not what it once was.
I suspect that the reason the scrolls disappeared might be that they hid themselves to avoid capture by the Thalmor. They're said to be fragments of creation. Might not want the elves tearing it all down.
Literally nobody in the setting really understands
They're a
them.
great mystery to me.
Which is,
For
I
most
mean,
of my brothers in the order as well.
it's pretty boring,
We
honestly.
don't really know where the scrolls
It's kind of an
came from
overdone
or who
cliche,
wrote them.
and
What we do
it all
know
just means that we don't learn
is
anything
that
interesting.
Some are born with the special gift to read the Elder Scrolls.
That's, like, new as this.
These
They never really
chosen
mentioned the need
few
for
can
special
define
gifts
events
before,
of
just
the
that, like,
past
needed
and
special
future
training.
within the scrolls. Though in time, it drives us to blindness. I'm afraid there's not much more to tell. Even today, the Elder Scrolls remain a great enigma.
Well,
Very well, Master.
good summary, I guess, at least.
That was not as useful as I would have liked. Even so, you did well. My traitor wife stole one of them away and then disappeared.
So now we finally
As
come
for
back to
the
that
other,
plot point.
The last that I heard, it was
So we have
lost
a
in the
very,
bowels of
very
the
long
moon.
fetch quest.
It seems our work is not yet done. But I have waited this long, and we are so very close now. I can wait a bit longer.
He's surprisingly sensible in this section here,
If you
actually.
need anything, say the word. I can.
So, we now need to get 2 more scrolls. This is the one that'll come up in the main quest, which I'll be advancing soon enough anyway, so I'll probably just, you know, go talk to the Graveyard as part of the main quest and we'll do things from there. Okay, that just... The Flood of Mortals, chasing echoes...
I am above the petty squabbles here. I have lived for far too
I think
long to be bothered with them.
I will avoid talking to Serana for now because I hate her. And I'll go do main quest stuff instead and come back to that one. Alright, so I think I'm going to skip the fast travel. Oh, I hear footsteps. Oh no. She's coming with me. Alright, drat, I need to advance this stupid quest and get rid of her.
Do you have a moment to talk?
I'll go into the polite option here, I guess.
He said we needed 2 other Elder Scrolls. I think I know where we can start looking.
She doesn't, actually.
Didn't want that lot getting wind of it. Especially my father.
This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, you trace it, whatever.
Ever since he decided to make that prophecy his calling.
So I don't know why she's going to help him continue to work on it now,
I don't even
but
think
whatever.
he sees me as his daughter anymore. I'm just...
Well, you're clearly wrong about that. He clearly does actually care, but whatever.
We need to find my mother, Valerica.
I mean, yeah, he did say
She'll
that.
definitely know where it is. And if we're lucky, she actually has it herself. The last time I saw her, she said that she'd go somewhere
And
safe.
she actually has no idea where that is, so she
Somewhere
has
that my
no
father
useful
would never
information here,
search.
which is back to the same
Other than
spot.
that, she wouldn't tell me anything.
But now comes one of the
way she said it.
stupidest parts
Someplace
of
he would never search.
a mind-bendingly
Yet
dumb
she called
quest line.
attention to it. Maybe. What I can't figure out is why she said it that way. Besides, I can't imagine.
Well,
a
Charlotte
single
immediately
place my
focuses
father
on
would
that.
avoid looking. And he's had all this time too. Any ideas?
It's the dumbest one. And this would be dumber because the Dawnguard didn't exist back then. This is the smart one, but it's not that.
Wait, that almost makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
I used to help my mother tend a garden in the courtyard here. All of the ingredients for our potions came from there. She used to say that my father couldn't stand the place. Too peaceful. Oh, absolutely. But my mother's not a coward.
That doesn't explain why
That
she
is,
would do something so stupid.
I don't think we'll actually trip over her there, but it's worth a look.
And why would we want to get him without your father noticing? You haven't explained to me at all why we'd want to do this thing while not being on his side,
Trust
apparently.
me, I lived in that castle for a very long time, and I...
But Charlotte wants to find out all about this treachery and why it's going
There's an
on.
unused inlet on the northern side of the island that was used by the previous owners to bring supplies into the castle. An old escape tunnel from the castle exits there. I think that's our way in. Come on, it's just around the side.
Okay, so what follows is one of the longest, boringest, most obnoxious sequences in any video game ever made. But I'll save that for next episode.
Well, hope you all enjoyed that video and that adventure. And you know, I haven't said this before, but if you do enjoy these videos and you haven't already, I'd certainly appreciate it if you'd subscribe to them so you can keep abreast of this and my other projects. I'd also love to hear your feedback and any kind of lore or mechanics you want me to talk about, so by all means comment about things like that so I know what to discuss in future videos. Have a great day, everyone.